Hey, what's this? Hero Girl's starting on time? Couldn't be. Alright, let's go ahead and make our... finally have a chance to sit down, so... finally have a chance to sit down and everything's been moved out of place everyway, so like, why even fight it anymore? We're gonna just readjust everything. Everything does not seem to need to be adjusted, even though I did like no adjustments prior, so maybe I just need to learn how to stop fiddling with the... I will never stop fiddling with the camera. It can always be like a little more to the left. Happy Monday, everyone. It is time once again for a weekly magic stream. I am your host, Hero Girl. I know that this is that a little more subdued. Like, I could go into the whole spiel. I could go, hey there, heroes, my name is Hero Girl. But it's like, I'm just trying to chill out, man. I'm just trying to chill out with our Ice Queen. It's also like a week and a half until not it's already October. The week and a half until Halloween. I don't think I have anything specifically planned for Halloween. I'm trying to, maybe. I know that we're definitely gonna have something planned next week. Yeah, next week. Next week we're doing something big. Something that I'm gonna actually have to start working on and prepping on this week. But hey, it's been alright. And last week was a good week too. Between now and last week, I started messing around with some other deck ideas. I've been doing a lot of drawing. Inktober, I'm keeping strong. We're 21 days into Inktober and I have not missed a day. Or if there was a day where I did not submit a drawing, I did 2 drawings the following day. And that only happened exactly once. And since then, I have been very consistent with doing the drawing every day. I'm pretty proud of myself. I would like to continue this. Maybe not to the exact same extent. Maybe give myself the graciousness to relax on the weekends. Maybe keep myself to only really dumb, silly doodles that are not full drawing color characters. Just have a thing that I want to do early in the morning, get it knocked out, relax. Or even then, just, keep the drawing to maybe the weekdays. That would probably be the responsible thing, but now I'm terrified that if I don't do a thing every day, I'm gonna, like, slide back. Like, weekend is a day of rest, but if I'm fighting for the weekend, maybe it is just better to just relax and not do the thing. But I would like to do the thing, so I'd like to figure out, like, a not quite full drawing thing that I could do on the weekend to satisfy my need to draw. But I also need to really get back to work on my outline. I'm like part of the way through. I need to finish the outline before November. Because November is still National Novel Writing Month, and I still plan on writing a novel. And it's like, why? Is it any wonder that I've cut back on the streaming just a little bit? Maybe just a skosh. Anyway, so today's agenda, we are still going to be working on Hilda, the Icy Crown. I got some more wild cards! We finally got to crack our alchemy packs last week. The Duskmorn alchemy stuff came out. We got the bat, we got the rat, we got the birds. We can actually put that card into the bird version. We can put it into cast. Try that out. So got a sick motorbike. And I've also managed to craft a couple more cards for the collection. What was it that I crafted? Was it in the storm deck? It might have been in the storm deck that I did that. Did I even do that? I can't tell anymore. I might have, I might not have. I can't remember what it was I crafted. It might have been in here, actually. Might have been in the CDC Lance deck. What would I have crafted? Oh, it was a snake. It was Mystic Snake. That's definitely one crafted. I know I crafted something else. Like, I got a bunch of the creatures together that I wanted to use. a big crack. After last Monday, I kind of decided, you know what? I want to try and see if I can make a all creature CDC deck work. To that end, I went and I crafted a Mystic Snake. Mystic Snake is just a really good utility creature. I will run like X anyway, so that's okay. Oh, what else was? Oh, we went and got the Scarab God. The Scarab God is also just like a card that I've wanted to have for zombies for a while. So just having the Scarab God to make this deck a little more viable is really cool. That did kind of like eat both of the mythic wild cards that I had. But say la vie. What else was there? Was that it? Was I a good girl? Was I very patient with grabbing a bunch of brand new cards? Pretty sure most of the rest of these are cards I've already had. So if it is, then this is the pile that I've put together specifically because I want to try a version of CDC that goes all in on the mulching and the surveilling. I really want to get some. I've always been fascinated by this idea of the dredge deck that wants to put a bunch of cards in, duplicate a lot of cards, and then fucking eat everything. I currently have this in black-green. I was thinking maybe with blue-black we have some more utility. Maybe we can play stuff like a Lazav, like a Lightness Looter, to turn this into a Graveyard Toolboxy type deck. On the box, hey, thank you so much for stopping by. I did have like an actual dredgy version of this, but then I was like, this just kind of works better as Madrotha. And so I just kind of deleted that version. Do I still have the original black-green version, or did I delete it? Oh, we can... Well, yeah, we do. I think what I want to do with the CDC is actually to go and start including some more actual cards like Mulch, like Tamio, stuff that can repeatedly mill, stuff that can commit crimes. But if I could get something like this of blue support, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. Get to play Slimefoot, get to play Insidious Roots, get to play a lot of the really fun landfall stuff. Nander's Wake is another amazing card in a deck like that, where you just want to like eat everything. Yeah, that's probably what we end up having there. So that's one of the other decks that we're going to be working on today. Is there anything that had like my immediate attention? I don't think so. Might still try playing some Cloak and Dagger. Might do some stormy stuff is also going to be really fun. What do we have in terms of daily? Is it, and also Warzone. Get white blue off just Hilda. Yep. Okay. I do think I have the 4 wild cards, and I think I do want to use one of those for the solitary for Geist. So like put in Solitary Defiance. I looked at the Viridian Circle for Hilda, and I don't think that's quite what I want to be doing. Now if I could just like get straight up blue draw. The Defiance being like constantly seek 2 non-lands and then discard is really good though. So if we can think of a thing to cut for it, I will craft it and put it on the list. I don't think Geist really cares about the Vigilance or the Ward too unless Geist is big. Battle Water, Lockdown, Seal, Fairy. He was actually really... Tails in, Stasis... Helios Punishment's already here. Feather of Flight has Flash. I keep forgetting that Feather of Flight has Flash. That's actually really good. So does Dog Umbra. Currently playing Razor Glass. It's just like another removal slash lane that we can play. Down, Gossip's Talent, Corruption, Lapse, Gate, we cutting. You could probably make a case for just cutting the Wave Break. Wave Breaker doesn't really add anything other than giving Geist prowess. Then just kind of being like a backup creature in case something does happen to Geist so we don't lose tempo. Really more like the top end stuff that they just wanted to be wary of. Pull from the Moon is good. Hits anything, right? Target 9-line permanent. It's also 9-line permanent. It might be worth cutting pull from the Moon. It does have the pulling removal for draw. Fine. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and get started playing. Also, if anyone's been keeping an eye on some of the other Brawl channels, I don't know that too many of them are really popping off in terms of like new commanders. Like I can take a look at, say, yeah. I know that was definitely the fact with the Amazonian. She's been revisiting a lot of old. How is Covert go? He does Brawl content. There's been some stuff, but I think that might just also because he's from. Not in terms of like actual videos. Anim Pakel, Thousand Moon. This is going to get really, really, really scary. But we do go first. We have the Wrath of God. There's an impulse. It's a ramp. We can go ahead and hold on to this. I would love to go farmland first. That way we can go ahead and use Rainforest to grab an unfetched land. We can grab Castle Ventress. Lunar comes down. Don't care too much about that. Impulse. Let us grab another card. Or we can Signet. Going Signet now lets us do Wrath of God a lot sooner when an Impel isn't going to be coming down just yet. We're also not really holding up like counter magic. I would like to find Impulse in case they have any sort of flare. Let the record show that I can also play Signet next turn and still hold up potentially an Impulse or a counter spell if we draw into it. So tempo-wise, we just managed to hold up a little better like that. Ragavan. Sure. I do like taking Path specifically so we can get rid of Ragavan. It ramps them up a land, but it keeps them from grabbing up treasure in that same turn. That better or worse if they just play an Impecal next turn, though? Because if they play an Impecal, then we're gonna just, like, destroy everything they have anyway. I think that means that the Teferi might actually be better. So, no, let's go ahead and just grab the Path, because then that can deal with a creature after the fact. We also get the ability to just pitch at the Solitude if we really need to. Alright, so an Impecal can pop off. You let Ragavan come down. There's no sense firing off Path to Exile just to, like, keep him off a treasure. And they have flare. They already have flare. You gotta land off of us. We don't care about that. Go ahead and play the land. There's Wrath of God. This is instant gift a tapped fish. We want to hold off on that until we absolutely... They can go ahead and replay an Empical, but that costs them their treasure. Cathar's Crusade. That's really good, and we don't have an answer for that. Because an Empical can actually just, like, go off crazy. But it's not a problem if they never actually get the tap to attack, right? Swan Song. With Cathar's Crusade, that's... Let's see. But it does mean that we keep Hilda on board. Like, now they don't get to really attack with anything. We can Celeste this, hold up 2 mana. Now we just have options. Don't want to use the Into the Flood yet. Trample and haste whenever another creature you control enters. Double its power. Into the Flood Maw is so dangerous here. They return target non-land permanent opponent if the gift was a problem. We can actually bounce the Cathar's Crusade. But we give them the fish first, and then the valet gets bigger. I think I'm fine with it. Okay, they don't get... Yep, okay, so they do get the counter, right? Just like I thought. Okay. Alright, we'll take land. You can also just, like, play the Solitude, the Swan Song, to keep them off the Cathar's Crusade is relevant. We unfortunately don't have any of our enablers yet. That's a real problem. I have to get rid of the valets, probably. They can get rid of Hilda. We can always just replay Hilda. I think I'm fine with that. I don't care about that too much. Let's go ahead, get rid of the valet now while we can. Solitude having flash is really good for next turn. Target creature or planeswalker you control gains protection. Now they do have 2 creatures that we can just start tapping down, but that's also 2 creatures that can just, like, murder us. We don't find any of, like, our actual gas. Rhystic Study. I would love to get Rhystic Study down. Probably with the Solitude first, though. Yeah, I think we go ahead and we pass the turn, so that way Celestis gives us another look at a card. Temporary Lockdown. That'd be a great card to play. If it was, like, later on. They can also just play the Cathar's Crusade now. And really what I want to do with the Solitude is to make sure they stay off an Impical. Notably, if they don't, 2-0 and First Strike. I'll go ahead and just flash into Solitude. This does mean that they can just play an Impical. But we do get something on the board. Dovin's Veto is actually fantastic. Means that we don't have to worry about the Cathar's Crusade now. Alright, here's your Rhystic Study. an Empikel we can potentially draw into an answer for, whether it's a Wrath or what have you. Let them go ahead and pay for the one first. They don't want us to draw extra cards. Am I willing to pop this just so we can start drawing? I think I am. It's not. Let's see. Is it worth it to play out the Cold Steel Heart? I think ultimately it is. Having more mana means that I can play Hilda and be able to do stuff on top of that. Yep. This is where things start getting dicey. Pull resources. It gives him more fish. Unfortunately, it's not great. Not at this point in time. I could try and keep digging with the Celestis. But I really want Hilda to be on the board here. They might have they might just have removal for Hilda though. It's the Hero Girls VT. It sure is. The good news is that the Ristic Study is going to keep taxing their spells. Ooh, Smelter in combination with an Impecal is really spicy. Alright, so we just always block like this, and this is what? Like, this does mean that we just kind of like lose Hilda to a 1-1. Especially since they apparently just have combat. Yep, we get to draw a card. Alright, so we do lose Hilda to that. That's fine. That's whatever. It's not fine. I don't like that. Especially right after we draw the Teferi. We play Hilda, pass turn. Like, okay, they're playing like a lot of double strike shenanigans, a lot of power cards. Esper Sentinel is interesting. It kind of means that we get taxed back. I think an Impecal is big enough to the fact that it's actually problematic for us to block the 3/1s. But I also just can't. I think I have to just start blocking the 1/1s. Let the 3/1 go through. Okay, could they like stop? Can they just stop having removal for Hilda? Okay, if we're getting to this point, then what I need to do is I need to start drawing for another Wrath, set them back that way. Pacification Array isn't bad. An Impecal is eventually going to get big enough. But that doesn't matter, but I don't think I can afford to hold on to that. I'm going to go ahead and get the fish. They can draw a card. I just need Cyclonic Rift next turn. No attacks, pass. They're almost definitely gonna mill it. So, like, might as well let them get the 6. And then we can Psych Rift at the end of their turn, replay Hilda. Double an Impical trigger, it's rough. Also, the fact that they will be able to just play Ossification again next turn sucks. Alright, so we've got a bunch of 3/2s coming our way. And they don't want to... Alright, so that's 9, 10, 16, 19 exactly. I don't die from this. Expel the Interlopers is another really big help. So what I can do is Cyclonic Rift to set them back and then Expel. Or I could potentially Expel now. Set them all back. And then all they have left is just, not great. Just destroy all creatures powered greater than... I mean, if they have... like, just Flare. That's really bad for us. Yep. And let's see. Yeah, we can go ahead and pay the 1 here. Alright, that sets him back. We still have Cyclonic Rift back up. End the turn. We have a win condition here. They're probably just gonna mill us again. Gets rid of some dead draws at least. Alright. Never another artifact control, he gets 1/1. Alright, now we get the Aspirates. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more land, and we could actually play Teferi and hold up Rift, which is amazing. I would love that for us. We can play Hilda. We could probably do that pretty safely at this point. They could play an Impical. They'll get some more creatures out. If we do that, we're completely tapped out. Do they have any land creatures? They do not. I could hold up Cyclonic Rift. I could hold Selfless Savior. Can't play I could play Teferi, untap, hold up Psych Rift. I think I like that. Untap an artifact, tap a creature, untap a land. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can also play a Selfless Savior. You know what? Keep seeing if we can spike some of those higher cards. No, okay. So they are just going to start letting us draw extra cards. I'm okay with it. I'm cool. Alright. So I do draw a card. Narcolepsy. Don't mind if I do. Let's preemptively overload Psych Rift. Now, they do get to play the Ossification, which means they're probably going to get rid of Teferi. Or they'll just scoop because we successfully held on long enough to survive, stabilize, and take over. Disgusting, though. They had so much just combat tricks for Hilda to punish us for having to use her to block. Ah, well, we still got there. Like, Ristic Study with Teferi and Orb is pretty great. I guess I can't really, like, just run Hilda out there. Like, we were playing her to have as a creature, as a blocker, and to be set up for when we did draw our tap effects. Rocco Street Chef is bad because it gives him a lot of draw power. Swan Song, Psych Rip, Midnight Clock. Not what we're looking for here. Orb can help out. Split Up can help out too because they're not going to be swinging with Rocco unless they make him really, really, really big. We've got Law Rune Enforcer. Keep the 7. Fiery Stream comes into play tapped only if we have 2 basics. I'd like to get the orb set up as soon as possible. They're going for Esper Sentinel off the bat. So then, is it worth it for me to play the Law Rune Enforcer just so we don't have to, like, constantly take 1 every turn that we're shocking ourselves for? I think so. It doesn't mean I have to use this to grab a shock land and then Prairie Stream comes into play tapped. But, like, at least this is something. Also means we probably set up Replicating Rings before Orb. Although I would ideally like to have 4 lands before playing the Rings so that way we can still hold up Counterspell if it hasn't been used by that point. Yeah, but go ahead. We play the island. This is only tap target creature mana value 2. Psych-Rift early is interesting. Go ahead. There's Rocco. I can counter Rocco, but I think what I want to do is I want to Psych-Rift instead. Just to, like, set them back on tempo. They do get to draw the card, though. Yeah, that's not ideal. Like, they're probably going to get a couple cards off Sentinel just from that. Ugh, you hate to see that. Yeah, 2 cards off Sentinel is obnoxious. Alright, so they can absolutely tie this. Sentinel's drawn a 2nd card. They can even, like, Autumn's Veil, potentially. There's the extra land I would love to have. Okay. Let's think about this. They have split up, so we can actually let Rocco resolve next turn. So
let's go, lesbians, let's go!
Let's go ahead. Play out Orb. Pay the 1 here. Pass the turn. We get 2 cards next turn. I would like to have a land, but they're gonna mill it regardless, so go ahead, mill the take 2 off the negate. That's fine. Although now that I think about it, Rocco comes down. No, they're just gonna Rhythm the Wild, so we can't counter him. Okay. And a Bird of Paradise. Well, that means... But they gave the bird haste, so they have a 2-mana play here now. For a Johnny, which means I might actually need to use Split Up here just to get rid of all these extra cats.
Beautiful day, brother.
Which is not ideal, but I kind of don't have a choice. They do get 1 more draw off this. I would love to save my Law Rune Enforcer. Guess that's what I get for running it out early. I attack, they just block it. They block with the cat, they trade, they get to transform a Johnny. And they're just gonna mill this too. That's fine. Like, if they just take incrementing shock damage, I'm okay with that. Okay, so we actually want to hold on to any creature pieces we have. Yes, unless we're playing against something that's incredibly aggro. Like a Goldspan Dragon, which would have been amazing. Wash Away doesn't help. I guess I'm just playing Hilda and holding up Counterspell. If I draw into a Teferi, I can bounce Rocco, make them replay Rocco. Path to Exile. Like, we're still losing in terms of, like, actually taking damage. Never ideal. Especially now that they have just 4 additional mana. They can play a Kogla that kills Hilda. Really sad about that. Requisition Raid. Artifact, Enchantment. Goodbye, Paleontor. And this is what? Whenever it becomes the target of a spell, so if we can, like, lock it down with an ability, we're fine there. Yeah, they just blow up the orb. Yeah, we're in big trouble. Rocco's just really hard to deal with. Dovin's Veto. So, like, we can... Faithful Absence. Rocco gets to put another creature in. Beginning your instant, each player exiles top card. We can wash away anything that get off of exile. That does help. And this is each player exile until your next end step. Alright, now we get to draw a card. Drawing a card's pretty cool. Because now it means we can hold up anything that comes into exile. We can Faithful Absence the Goldspan Dragon. We are still in danger. Bird of Paradise can hit the Teferi. They have 4 mana with the treasure as is already. So I'm inclined to say let's go ahead and just wait until their turn. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a counter on target creature you control. That's not coming. That's uncounterable because of the Rhythm of the Wild. Which means that we definitely want to kill the Goldspan Dragon before additional treasure comes in. Enters create a food token. Yeah, let's go ahead and let them pick a target, because if they pick the Goldspan Dragon, now they're gonna pick Descendant. It really just comes down to see if we can grab our gas fast enough. There's Rocco. We have to do this before Rocco comes down. They do get to grab another treasure, which means that Yoshian does put a counter on the bird, which means Teferi is almost definitely gone. Ah, you hate to see that. Then Rocco has haste. Like, Teferi was never living through this. Let's be real here. Oh, I just had a way to, like, tap shit down. Rocco is going to let me draw cards, but with Yoshian, they're going to keep getting bigger. They're going to keep getting harder to deal with. Ossification to deal with Hilda. Unless we... Oh, no. They're just going to swing for the fences. That's interesting. I would have gotten rid of Hilda and just swung at Teferi with the bird. Okay, do they have any sort of instant speed, put artifacts into play? They can crack a clue. They can tap these for mana. Wait, why does the food tap for mana? Because of the Night of Sweet Revenge. Okay. Pay 7, sack it. They have 1, 2 mana. Or 5? 7. I don't think they... Like, that does put us on a further clock, but, like, you could have actually gotten... Oh, well, that's just... But also we just didn't draw into another answer. That's discouraging. In theory, I like Hilda a lot because I really, really, really like the interaction. I'm a fan of ships and pilots decks, not because I think they're great, but because there's just a satisfaction to getting the engine going. And unfortunately, Hilda really, really needs a lot of those engine cards. Broker's Apex of Forever. Sultai mutates. PPG just like general value creatures. I had an idea for a Brokos Manifest Dread deck where you include a lot of cloak cards, you include a lot of dread cards, and you just mutate Brokos onto one of those. You can give them ward. This hand wants to go. Let's see. We do have temporary lockdown in case they have a ton of mana dorks. We have Into the Flood, but they want to go big really fast. I think we need better. This is not better. Strict Serenade, Swan Song, Seek New Knowledge. Ice Pillar can help. The Brainstorm can help if we draw into a fetch land, and we do get the additional spells to like slow down the development. It does give them a creature to put Brokos on, but then we have the Ice Pillar. Is it worth keeping just on the strength of Brainstorm? Maybe if we were on the play, but on the draw, I think we have to go down deeper. This is actually fine. Resources redraws us. I think we get rid of Negate. Negate is how we can protect Hilda, but it's going to be a little while before we're able to get to that point. Anchorage always comes down tapped. We do open ourselves up to being able to use these to grab basic land still. And if there's a turn where we don't have to do anything, we can go ahead and surveil. Hold up counterspell, hold up Tail's End. Call of the Rain's only a problem if they get to draw off of it. And that's only going to happen if they have creatures. This is an instant. Now they have the 3. They're not going to do anything with that. I'm okay with that. There's always the chance that they stifle this, right? Yeah. Just go ahead and not play into that. Instead, we will play Flooded Strand and pass turn there. Because, like, I have a Tail's End too, so I know that if they try and go for fetch, I'm very likely to run Tail's End out. Misery Shadow. How do I feel about that? That could probably just be eaten by piranhas. That's also, like, not a bad target for them to mutate Brokos on. Yeah, I don't think I care about Misery Shadow. But again, they do get Call of the Ring value. I think I have to crack the Rainforest this turn. They're probably looking to put that on Brokos. Honestly, if they have like even just a creature out, the Call of the Ring starts drawing them cards, and that's not ideal. That's going to be what the Path to Exile is for. So we'll want to do that during their upkeep, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and start by cracking Misty Rainforest. See if they want to try and hit that. No? Great. We'll just grab a Surveil land. Brainstorm. I will gladly take a Brainstorm. And then, like I said, we're going to do this during their upkeep. So, pass the turn. Path to Exile, Misery Shadow, so that way you don't get the additional draw. You do get additional land, but you don't get to utilize it this turn. Stop off. Right now, we're just kind of dancing around each other. Kaito. Give your end step. Kaito's not bad. They've only got the 1 mana open, so let's go ahead. Brainstorm. Hilda's Crown is exactly what we want. Into the Maw. This bounces. We can bounce the Call of the Rain and get that back up into there. We're going to be Tails Ending right now. Eaten by Piranhas is probably the least helpful thing. And then, what else would we want to send back? Maybe the pool of resources. Yeah. And then we'll go ahead and crack this. Grab. Island. Alright, Captivating Crossroads comes into play untapped. We love to see that. Into the Flood Maw, Hilda's Crown. We can do Crown. We can also do Crown next turn, but if we do it like this, we potentially hold up Counterspell for Hilda. They are at full temptation with the ring. If they decide to just pass, then we don't have a lot of incentive to play Hilda. Fairy Dream Thief. When it comes into play, Surveil 1. All the ring. I don't think we're ever actually using Counterspell on Dream Thief. We are just kind of being in position with. Beastbinder is actually a problem. Whenever it attacks, up to 1 target artifact, creature, or planeswalker the opponent controls loses all abilities until your next turn. So, like, Hilda's Crown already has to start tapping that down. So, we'll be at 6 mana. I don't think I have a choice, though. Okay. So, we are going to go ahead, get the fish, put the Call of the Ring back into their hand. And, oh, hey, there's a Farewell. That's gonna just, like, you know, completely disincentivize me from actually wanting to play stuff out. They do have blue open. They could have a negate. Tap target creature. Tap down the Beastbinder. What are you doing? Attack? Exile, you draw a card? No, this is awkward. I can counterspell, Call the Ring, then Farewell on the next turn. I think I prefer that, just so that way we remove their primary draw ability, even though it does mean like leaving Hilda alone. Although I can also just like Farewell targeting Call the Ring. This also has pay 3, draw a card for each tapped creature. Like, we can actually sacrifice the ring to, like, the crown to get the additional draw. I think I like that. Actually get into a swan song. Wash away. That's not bad. I like that. Get lost. That's also pretty nice. I think this is just a jam 'em if you got 'em scenario. You can still get lost, get rid of the call without taking a lot of damage. I think I like that actually. Just get lost, get rid of the call of the ring. Although maybe it's I should have done that during upkeep. Okay. One more turn and I'll have Farewell with Counterspell backup. And then I've also got Anchorage ready still, so I can 1, 2, 3 have 2 mana open in case they have removal. This is a 2/3. That's not nothing. All right, so there's a Signet. We can also get rid of that. Just kind of playing this really patiently. Alright, so that's a Phyrexian Arena. They do get to draw that next turn. Yep. They get more action. Let's go ahead and activate. Pass the blockers. And then they can exile this to draw a card and lose a life. The Fable Passage comes to play tapped, so we don't. I could just do that in response. I can Farewell now. I think I crack the Marsh Flats first. Crack the Marsh Flats, grab a basic, and even potentially grab actually a Prairie Stream. Artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and graveyards. Yep, I'm all about that. This encourages them to tap out to play Dream Thief. And they get to draw the Phyrexian Arena. No worries there. Counterspell on the arena also seems really good. While they're tapped out and there's no chance of them being able to stifle, we'll go ahead and just grab a basic island. As we continuously wait, Toski can't be countered, so there's just no point in even trying there. Elite Arrestor. That Toski actually makes for a really good mutate target. Yeah, I think this is play Hilda territory. They've probably been holding up like a Tail's End or a Wash Away all day. Memory Lapse, putting Hilda on top of my deck. Am I willing to counterspell that to see her resolve? I think I am. Like, our shields are down on Hilda now, but they're likely going to be using this to play out Brockos. If they play the Phyrexian Arena, that's not great for us. But we still have the Elite Arrestor here to start tapping down Toski. This has probably been like the most attrition-y patient game first. Alright, so they're going for the arena. Yeah, we can just block with the Arrestor. Now they're going to start drawing extra cards. We just, like, let's see, we can dome them for 7 if we really wanted to. 10. This is an instant. We get to seek 2 cards if we do this. We're gonna start getting to see cards with Hilda as well, so I guess this is the point where we just start popping off. Is it worth attacking with Hilda? I think it is. Gotta start winning at some point, right? Let's go ahead and do this before they have a chance to actually do a thing. What do we want to do? We want to start scrying and then draw, right? Yeah. Boots and Cavernous Souls. We want something that helps answer right away. Alright, so they do get to draw 2 cards. What an intense dance this is. And then I am just going to go ahead and pull resources. Time Warp. Okay, so we've got 2 options here. I could pull resources now and then try casting Wash Away. But if I do that, I leave myself open to like a leak. Alright, so we successfully stopped that. Alright, Impulse, Seek New Knowledge. Fantastic. Faithful Absence. Fantastic. Take 2 non-land cards and put a card from your hand on the bottom. Go ahead and like do that. Okay, we can go ahead and put Delta on the bottom there. Giant Killer, Disdainful Stroke. I think we're doing okay. And then I could go in with Hilda. No. Go chill out. Then, once again... We only have 5 mana open. If they have a Phyrexian Ring, then we just need to, like, draw better. Mind Stone, okay. They do have a fish token. Deadly Cover-Up. Destroy all the creatures. Now, they could have another counterspell for this. Okay, but they don't. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. That's how we want this to go, right? We want to be able to play a slower, drawn-out game. We want Hilda to be able to start, like, getting our advantage, and then as soon as we have it, we're in a position where we feel comfortable, we just start switching to the aggro. We start making 4/4s that can attack. Like, even just, like, finding an opportunity to make 1 4/4 probably would have been enough. I definitely would have held on to Giant Killer specifically to destroy Broncos, even though Broncos probably just wants to play onto Toski. Then we have the Faithful Absence, we have the Impulse, Mind Stone. We're starting to, like, just hold on to pure gas. It would have been a lot easier, I think, if Hilda was a like a Teferi, and we were just playing cards that can just straight up draw us cards, as opposed to playing something conditional like a Hilda's Crown of Winter. But like, I don't know, I like Hilda. I want Hilda to work. Oh, rare wild card. Yay! The next one's a mythic? Definitely not a deck that you can just jam Hilda out, I think. You do have to play this as a slow, patient deck, which I'm not good at. but I'm willing to learn, especially for her. I think it's probably more that I don't necessarily enjoy the style of deck as opposed to just beating things down. That's part of why I like Geist a little better right now. But the actual gameplay itself was it's very patience testing. Like, what other blue-white commanders are there? There's like Will, the Scion of Peace. Also, don't click on like any actual cards when you're looking at commanders of a deck, otherwise your commander will get replaced, and that's no. Like, Harbin is definitely a go white soldier commander, and this is a deck where I think I need to grab someone else's list because the one I built was absolute trash. One of our regulars has an Ineaz, the Gale Force deck. That was surprisingly cool. They use things like Baffling Disappearance, where they could exile my thing and then bounce the enchantment, and then they get the dinosaur. That's pretty cool. Tamashi is also just a control enabler. But Tamashi can do it in a way that's much more efficient and effective, partially because you're already playing a ton of artifact and enchantment cards. You're playing a lot of the Eat My Piranhas type auras that go away and then you just replay them. Croft is getting played because he's because he's gay. He's gay. I mean, he might be. I didn't actually read the stories. But I mean, Sherlock Holmes was gay, right? Like, he had Moriarty and Watson and all that. But the blue-white control decks are playing Proft because he does just Sphinx's Rev. Geist is not a control deck. I haven't really seen Lavinia in a hot second. Maybe she's like higher up in the ladder. Prince Imrahil does a lot of the cantrip stuff. I might try Imrahil, because then you get to play all the 1-mana cantrips that let you draw second cards. You get to play additional soldiers. You get to just swing in a way that's a little easier than just playing Harbin, where he requires a certain amount of soldiers to really go wide. Rabbit Wizard. Oh, this was me, the Bloomborough control card. Bloomborough commander card. Each player can draw a card. Each player who drew a card this way gains a life. Let's see. I've seen Raph, but it was like the other Raph. There was like Flash Raph. Flash Capuchin. Teferi. More different Teferi. Will, Sign of Peace. I don't think he ever like really took off the way some people hoped he would. The idea of playing a 1-mana gain 4 to help power up a Sphinx's Rev to draw cards, kind of replace them, it kind of has the same problem that Hilda does, where you're playing cards you wouldn't necessarily want to play normally in a blue-white control shell, and then you also need your commander to really make them pop off. That's kind of not what blue-white wants to be doing. Blue-white feels very agnostic. It wants to just be a control pile shell without necessarily having to worry about its commander, and then uses its commander as the win condition itself. I have half a mind to like craft Hero of Dominaria just so I can get the art I prefer up. I'm just not a big fan of the alchemy art. Who else? I see OG in the Orion decks. The Orion decks are super blinky. They're super slow. They're super value oriented. And it's a lot of fun to like set up your dominoes and then watch them all fall down and then set them back up again. But there's a reason why he was banned from Modern, and that's because it does lead to the same play pattern and takes a little bit to resolve it all. Thankfully, we are online, so that's less of an issue. Still. Maybe I want to look at like a Dovin. Dovin's kind of cool. But he's more of an additional control piece than anything else, I think. Tigem's also cool, but you know what I want? I want Dragon Lord Ojutai. That's what I want. Dragon Lord Ojutai is a much, much stronger blue-white wing condition than Hilda is. I like Hilda. I'm gonna keep trying to make Hilda work. I'm gonna try and like learn how to make Hilda work. Figure out maybe some additional draw effects to help set this up. Hold on. There aren't any like lands I'm missing, right? There aren't lands that like tap these down, right? Let's see. There's a counter on target creature. Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Activate only boom or white purple. Protection, damage, chant, policy, bill. Locked Laurent comes into play. Enters tapped with a stun counter. Sanctuary, Altawara. Riptide Laboratory to bounce wizards. Yeah. We don't have like a shot import or something like that. That would tap down creatures. If we did, I think that would help Hilda a lot. Just in terms of like having a piece that does what you want. And it's a little harder to actually interact with. The gift cards were actually working the way that we wanted to, so that's pretty cool. You know what? Dive myself into it. Play another game with Hilda. Before we continue tuning, continue trying. King of the Oathbreakers. That's a card I want. That's a card. That's a deck I want to brew and have fun with. We are on the play. We have 3. If we include Sync to Super, there's a Brainstorm, Solitude, and some good ramp. This is the target of a spell. The Solitude actually helps out a lot. I think we can keep this if we're going first. There is the concern that they would potentially Thought Seize us turn 1. In which case, it's ideal to go for the to hold up Brainstorm. We can go Island, play the Farmland, or even the Sink into Stupor for that. But if they Thought Seize us, they eat the Solitude. Major deficit. Okay. Well, now we can Verge. We can go into Cold Steel Heart. We can also hold up Signet to Brainstorm. I like Signet into Brainstorm. Now, if they do Thought Seize us, we have the ability to protect our Solitude. And getting just a turn ahead is really important. This deck can actually get really scary with how quickly spirits. Not as quickly or scarily as Tesa does. This is just kind of absurd for that. Dovin's Veto. See, I could play Into the Stupor. And then tap the Cold Steel Heart. Oh, what? Go ahead and tap. Set that down. Put it on. Now we have 2 counter spells plus protection. Tiny Bones, whenever deals combat damage to a player, they can cast one of our permanents. That's an interesting choice. Only cast permanents. Scalding Tarn. Now we're at a point where we could cast Hilda. We could also hold, and while holding up counter magic. I don't think we're gonna need to do that. Currently have the ability to Solitude, but without the backup. I'm fine with Tiny Bones dealing a point of damage. Can't do anything because there's nothing to target. Alright, now we can grab our Surveil Land. No real worry about Winter Orb here because it's a dual color deck. I guess I could have brainstormed a response. A Stasis Field. Tiny Bones is fine. We don't really care about Tiny Bones. I put the Stasis Field in. They're not going to want to play that either. Yeah, I guess I should have brainstormed before doing that. I'll leave the Stasis Field. You can play the Sync to Super as a land. Play it as a land and even just like hold up brainstorm action. Hold on to Stasis Field. Stasis Field doesn't do anything to Keen of Oathbreakers, right? Because they're the target.
You just went boom.
Scruftifier, thank you so much for stopping by. As long as we continue to draw lands, it's not a problem. They have also missed land drops. Cavern of Souls, we can name Human. Don't mind that. Let's see. I can drop Hilda, but then they just kill her and I don't have anything to do with her to begin with. And if all they want to do is just poke me with Tiny Bones, and I don't have anything for them to cast, that's fine. Spirit, so they can cast Keen of the Oathbreakers on Cavern Souls. Okay, that'll do it. Elsa controls a rude archetype. Hey, yep, that is it. Is it that rude? Also, thank you, Howdy, thank you for stopping by. I don't think she's any ruder than, like, you know, just playing Teferi or Proft, right? Alright, let's go ahead and use the Cavern here. We'll go ahead, we'll hard play the Solitude. We have Dovin's Veto backup. Exile King of the Oathbreakers. No, it's red and blue. Hey, viewer of quality. Viewer of quality right there. Patriarch's Humiliation. Yeah. Patriarch's Humiliation is interesting. It would get rid of the Solitude. But then it's useless for the Tiny Bones. Alright, we also have the Fateful Absence. Now, they're still playing black-white. They could also have plenty of Wraths. They do get to cast their King for free. Fateful Absence and Stasis Field don't do anything for it. I'm trying to think here. I would love to be able to play Hilda. We don't have anything to do with Hilda. Another thing that we have targets the King of Oathbreakers. Faces in, they make additional spirits. Let's see. I think I have to just run Hilda out. And then... yeah, let's go ahead and Stasis Field Tiny Bones. You're a Simic degenerate at heart. To control what you break your oversized camel's back on. Yep, there we go. There's Path of Peril. That's just destroy all creatures, right? I'm gonna hold on to the Brainstorm. Training Hilda for a Wrath seems fine. I can play the island. I kind of want to hold this for Brainstorm, though. That's just a thing that we can send back. Now it's worth playing Hilda, very specifically. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Did they have a mana type that they've been holding on to? Fine. Put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield. They're gonna take my Solitude. I can play Skrelv. I want to brainstorm here now that we have factual discard going on. Misty Rainforest is exactly what I want to see. Alright, so we go ahead. We can play the Crown now. Go ahead, play Skrelv. Go ahead, play the Rainforest, pass turn. Eldest Reborn still gets back Solitude, which means we have to make sure that Skrelv is available to protect Hilda. But stop to remind me to crack my fetch land. Okay. So Hilda's Crown can keep the spirit tap down. It can also help start triggering Hilda. We have protection for Hilda. I would like to see additional action for Hilda. Hey, reminded to crack my fetch land. They can also use the Eldest Reborn to get back Tiny Bones to just hit me for Solitude. And also potentially crack for Stasis Field. Like if they just have all that, that's pretty good. Vraska. Let's go ahead. Crack Forest. Swords the Plow. While I have cracked, so that way Brainstorm can't save it. What is this? Vraska does target creature. Well, if I crack the clue now, I just draw a land, so fair enough. I think it's worth it to pay the 2 here. Crack the clue, see what we draw. It's a land, no go. Now they have 2 different ways to pull one over on Hilda. And they can... Oh, see... I don't like that. I don't like proliferating the Eldest Reborn there. I mean, I guess they can grab Skrelv. Yeah, no, that doesn't... Why would you not hold on to that till next turn, then? Icebind Pillar's not bad. I just can't cast Hilda. They've held on to too many cards. And Vraska's gonna keep drawing them cards every turn. I can tap down the Cavern of Souls. No, this is an artifact or creature. And we definitely don't want to use the snow mana for that. No, why would you do that, Ottoman Tapper? Why? I can use the Hilda's Crown to try and get a redraw. I've got land that can attack next turn, so I guess we're switching into land-based aggro. Vraska gets to continue drawing. The poison counters don't really matter until she gets to 10. So I guess we're playing the draw it out game. Ottoman Tapper putting his feet up and relaxing too much, letting things slide. More like Ottoman Tapper is like, oh, you sure you want to do it this way? This way leaves out the most colors. Adeline. Oh, well, we can keep them from getting an additional creature this combat. And we do get to like tap down 2 creatures. This taps down artifacts. Yeah. I guess they must have had the Adeline in hand, right? I guess there's no reason for us not to tap down Adeline too. Now Hill's Crown potentially is a divination. Giver of Runes is interesting. I think what I want to do though is what, 5? It's 5. Or 5. Go ahead. Animate the Cave of the Frost Dragon. Use it to hit Vraska. Go to combat. Attackers. Like, they can just kill the Cave of the Frost Dragon, but then that's trading... Yep, okay, there's Sudden Edict. Yes. Alright, so here's Giver of Runes. I can tap down both of their creatures. Vraska can get rid of the Giver of Runes. I am running out of things to tap down other things. Cold Steel Heart lets me use Icebind Pillar, so I'm going to do that first. Like, just... Yep. No! Wait, hold on. Cancel that, cancel that, cancel that. Delay that order. And then, yeah, Vraska turns and Giver of Runes into a treasure.
Gaze into my eyes.
That was scary. This is very scary. They still have like 5 cards in hand. I am not in a good position. I would love to have like a Sphinx's Rev or something to just completely refill. Like, Crown and Pillar are doing what I would like them to do. All the Giants doesn't do enough. This is where they start running away with everything, right? Like, I can go ahead, I can play this, and then I don't have any mana left over for Crown or Pillar unless I give her Runes. I think what I have to do is tap target creature costs 1 less. I'm gonna cash in my Crown. Good. This way it leaves up snow mana without having to rely on the artifact base mana. And I just kind of drew nothing, so we're gonna call it there. Like, 5 lands in a row is rough. Well, I guess it's kind of the difference between this deck and most other the blue-white control decks, is that they have more ways to just like refill at the very end. That's something we'll have to keep in mind too. The Sphinx's Rev goes very nicely late game. Shuffler choosing who wins sometimes. That's just Magic as Richard Garfield PhD intended though, right? Like, this is exactly how it's supposed to go. Like, Blue Sun is nice. Let's see, what is this? Cost 3, blue less if an opponent has drawn 4 more. That's cool. Send a message, it ain't it. Sphinx's Rev. This is Sphinx's Rev. If you just want, like, really big cards. I think the 6 mana one that also reduces cost is probably better, though. Sphinx's Rev. This is why they're playing Proft. Stares at your reality Brawl deck. Yes, exactly how it's intended. That's not wrong. That's not wrong. Let's see. Draw to amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. No, that's not Snow Day. Raven Lore is cool. Scry X, where X is the amount of snow mana being spent. Like, Sphinx's Rev and Blue Sun, but then there's also like the Seek the Formula might honestly be a little bit better. Just have like 2 maybe 3 of these style of effects to reload. Discover the formula. I discovered the formula can go a long way. That's the question then. Because we honestly had plenty of stuff, we just didn't see it. Like, maybe we don't even need to play, like, all 3 of these. Like, isn't there... We could actually play the, not... We don't need to play Blue Sun. We can play... Dig Through Time. There we go. Yeah, Dig Through Time. Thank you. Thank you. Who will Group B tonight? Who will Group B tonight? Man's a single father with like 3 kids. Yum. Everyone here has eaten and drank the water like last 6 hours. I did. Every Monday, it's bagel day. Just have a simple bagel with some cream cheese and some yogurt. Nice, simple, easy on the digestion. Discover the formula, Dig Through Time, and Sphinx's Rub. I think are the 3 cards I wanted like fill in on the top end. Bagel day. But is it like better than Sublime Epiphany? It might be. Sublime Epiphany does a lot more. But if what we want is just like raw card advantage. Let's see. By the way, I hope everyone had a good weekend. I hope everyone has some fun plans for the upcoming week and a half. I'm pretty sure we're going to be committing to running Elden Ring on Friday with Lila and Fran. We're doing the seamless co-op stuff. At least we're getting like the ramp, right? The ramp is working. The gifts are working. We just need more ways to like draw and select and find the tap dance. I think that's what we need. Because if we start building to find our enablers with the backup, we're good. As opposed to trying to have more stuff. Have we gotten the Hilda to work yet? We have. We've gotten Hilda to work. The issue is just refining the process. Because it's just the ships and pilots stick at the end of the day. And ships and pilots need ways to dig and find the stuff. So if we include... Let's see, but I don't even need to include like a Skyclave apparition. Like just replace that with a... Discover the formula? I'm trying not to go too hard on like removal. Dream Shackle Geist. I mean, it's more tapping stuff. It's a creature. This is beginning of combat on your turn though. Target creature doesn't untap. But I like it. So how many tapping effects do we have right now? There's Geist. Currently have the Dream Shackle. We do have Icebind Pillar. I looked at the Verity Circle. And maybe we do want the Verity Circle. I did get like 5. I do have more wild cards to work with now. Solitude's actually been fine. The guests are working, and so are the auras. That's like the real key. Get Lost, Faithful, Law, Rune Enforcer, and Absence, and also Giant Killer. So like, we're starting to figure out the puzzle. We give them they have creatures. We just need to make sure that we can actively dig. That's going to be the big thing. If we can dig for what we want, then I think the deck will start clicking. Alright, so these are our tappers. Now, Hilda's Crown, everything else, like the Narcolepsy and the Geist, These tap them down when we want them to tap down. The Dream Shackle guys taps them on our turn, which is an activation. It also moves blockers out of the way. So, like, we can use this when they're enchanted with a thing and get our activation that way. Search for a Scanta. That's probably not wrong, actually. Search for a Scanta is actually pretty good filtering here. We want to, but remember, we want to make sure that we're doing this in the terms of a control shell. Search for a Scanta does work with that because then it turns into a land, and you can start grabbing your enablers that way. That's pretty good. Oh wait, I forgot about pacification array. Okay, so we might not actually need this many. Like the Elite Arrestor and the Law Rune Enforcer, I like them because we can use them repeatedly. And there are additional creatures that we could play early. But we saw earlier on that that was actually kind of awkward. Because we ended up just wrathing before we could even do something. So they become a tap piece that we can't really use the turn they get played. Giant Killer at least has the ability to do stuff as an instant, as removal. So what we may end up doing is we could potentially cut the Arrestor, cut the Law Rune Enforcer, keep the Topplgeist because the Topplgeist is great. I love Boopgeist. Boopgeist is like one of the main reasons I wanted to play this deck to begin with. And if we keep this focus on just searching for non-stuff, like we might even grab like a Trophy Mage. We can play a Trophy Mage, search for Hilda, search for Pillar. I don't want to play the Ice Pillar. Let's see. Law Rune Enforcer, Elite Arrestor. How do we still feel about that? I think like Elite Arrestor is okay because it's an 0-3. So in theory it walls, but now that we're adding in the rest, yeah, let's go ahead and just cut those. And that way we can let Topplgeist be a card, Giant Killer can continue to be a card. I'm still not sure how I feel about the Dream Shackle Geist. I want to play with it a bit more before we decide for sure. Because keeping creatures stunning creatures, that does have value. It is awkward because it's on combat of our turn, but again, we're still playing the unable to scream cards. Passivism effects would be pretty cool. Is it worth playing Dog Umbra, do you think? Dog Umbra, which is a passivism, and then it's potentially a shield for Hilda. Maybe. Maybe we want, like, potentially at least one passivism effect as opposed to, say, a Faithful Absence. I can try that. That might be worth it. Like, it's literally just passivism if it's not your creature, Umbra Armor if it is. And I realize that we get a little into the you spot a guard territory where it's like, oh, this can do the thing, or it can protect Hilda. The difference being that Dog Umbra stays on Hilda, which means that it's protection for later too. So if we were to play Search for a Scanta and Sphinx's Rev, we can cut Epiphany and Apparition. That might not be correct because we did cut like additional removal. How much removal do we still have? So, like, we're still playing Path, we're still playing Swords, we still have Witness Protection, Scream. What else is here? We still have Insignificant, we have Stasis Field. The Eaton, Get Lost. We still have Lockdown, Split Up, Full of the Moon, Farewell, Invocation, Solitude, Expel, and Wrath of God. You think this is enough removal? I think we might be short. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That should be more enough removal. This is like Wraths versus just like targeted removal. This should be fine. If we're including more cards with the idea of being able to dig and grab answers, then these are some of the things that we can grab as we need them. And then hopefully these are doing their job and also tapping down creatures to slow things down. I think it works. I hope it works. All right, let me take a quick washroom break, and then we'll be right back. Creatures we have in here, we've only got Burning Rune Demon and Kimia. I'm probably gonna exile card. Oh, they got the 7 so they can play their Sinner's Judgment. Then there, 3 more counters. Wow. Okay. Bit of a miscalculation on my part. Bit of a very strong miscalculation on my part. Yeah, that's really all we can do. Damn. This card is obnoxious, especially when you're in mono black. I don't have too many answers for it either. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think they really care what they take. Let's see. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. Yeah, we're just gonna go for broke. Let's see. Remove X counters. I'm talking about X is the mana value of the exiled card. I mean, that technically works. But at that point, that's just going to be delaying the inevitable. We need like a hard answer. Phyllis would be a great card to have. And I totally be back. Alright. We'll take a look to see if this works out the way I like it to. Hold on. Do I even have... I don't think I have the blue flares yet. The blue flare or the blue evoke. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. No, I don't have flare denial. Not that it's like a massive reason to do it. Honestly, well, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and just... I don't have the red flare. I don't have the blue flare, but I know that I want them because they're free spells. And before I can think of like anything better that I would want to do with it, right? Now we have them. Now we have them, and I can pull them off the wish list. I just got so tired of trying to like imagine what I... Oh, that's what I've made. I also spent a wild card to grab a Reclaimer because I really want to try making the lands deck work now. Okay. We can pull out the Solitary Defense too. That's we put in Geist. There's your Flare of Denial. There's your Flare of Duplication. Look at all these cards I want, chat. I want it all. And I want it now. But this is just life. I might actually... Did I play any of the Omniscience Emblem Quick Draft? I don't think I did. No. No. What am I saying? Think. No, I definitely didn't. I have not done any drafting in a hot while. This is the Dustmore and Hot Drift. Yeah, it's like 5,000 gold, 700 or 750 gems. Just no. I keep telling you, chat. I would love to be able to draft, but I need a more stable and consistent income in order to afford that. Could I afford a draft just by holding on to my gold for a week and doing the dailies and stuff? Absolutely. Absolutely I could. But then also in order to make that sustainable, I would have to like continuously do dailies, and there are just some weeks where I'm not going to do dailies. Dailies are evil. Okay, so we're up against Xur Enchantress, and this is gonna be rough. They have access to a lot of the new rooms, and those things get fucking huge because they're split cards, so they have combined mana value. They can play them for cheap, and then you can animate them. Temporary lockdown doesn't do anything here. Well, okay, this is significantly better. The opponent's gonna go first, so our Forsaken Crossroads comes into play untapped. Hall of the Storm Giants and Cave of the Frost Dragon. So we have plenty of things to do in response to slow them down. Consistency is keen, and a pawn being used by a Gambit player. Oof. Late oof. Actually, it's funny. In another card game I used to play, there was a card called Gambit that just returned all the creatures you controlled into your hand. That was all it did. But it was kind of like most of the you could play it in a deck of cards that didn't have a cost, and a lot of them had cantrip effects, so you could just like plus 2 or 3 cards with one of that spell. Okay, they're not gonna play Xur out when they feel like potentially have some sort of counter magic. Crossroads. I would love to be able to get the scry off of Crossroads after the Marsh Flats, I think. So let's play the Marsh Flats now. I don't think they're really going to be playing anything with Flash in Xur. Never mind! They had Enduring Curiosity! That is... And that's a card that comes back. It comes back as an enchantment, which means that we do end up having to use our... We're going to have to use our Farewell. And then... I'm going to pass turn. I can try bluffing Wash Away. Xur can come down and also just like... Well, that's going to lose me my Dream Shackle, guys, right? Paradoxical outcome in your reality chip deck to reset your storm turns. Le oof. Alright, so... Now what do we do? We have Farewell. They know we have Farewell. Fabled Passage. Once again, after the Scry, I think. They can just get back our Shackle, guys. We don't really care too much about that, but it does mess with our Giver of Runes. There's also a case that I should have just cracked the Fable Passage while they were tapped out so they don't just Tails in my Fable Passage. But Cruelty of Gix now grabs whatever enchantment they want. If I were them, I'd probably grab Black Market. Black Market, maybe the office building. The one that gives all their things hexproof and is also a Wrath. They can also pretty safely play Xur now. Like, they know I don't have counter magic. They can just play Xur, animate the cat. Get a free redraw. No, they're gonna Thoughtseize to take away the Wrath. Okay. Yep, that's about right. 5 life to do that when you have just the ability to give any of your enchantments lifelink. Yep, okay. Yep, getting torn apart right now. And like, they can even just like take the giver runes too. I'm gonna crack the Fable Passage. We've got double weight. Just get. We've been torn apart, and there's nothing we can do about that. Selfless savior, like now the cruelty of Gix triggers. If we kill Zer beforehand, then he just comes back. Selfless savior, Hilda, maybe? If I were them, I'd probably just get back the giver. Split up basically means that we never actually want to attack in with Hilda, right? Because then they just activate Zer, turn this cat into an enchantment. I don't think we're getting through this one. Feeling pretty checkmate right now. Thoughtseize was a great grab there off the tutor. Like, nah, because split up requires us to be able to like swing in and attack stuff or anything like that. It just doesn't work. Unable to scream, stasis field. All that shuts down Joda pretty quickly. We've also got swords. Cavern of Souls means that we can play our stuff pretty safely. Can even lead off on Leyline of Mutation. You can pay. It's just a Leyline version of what they're already playing. Which means now we have to have an answer for that too. Alright, they're not likely to have a stifle. Captivating Crossroads. We were the starting player, so this does come into play tapped. But we're gonna run it out anyway. I will hold on to the waste. It doesn't answer the mutation, but we really need to make sure that we have our 4th land drop. Full resources can also... It'll give them a fish. Just take 2 non-lands. Making me regret pulling out the apparition. Discover the formula. Alright, they're playing out the Reborn, Triome, Cascade. Next turn, they can go ahead and run... No, they can't. Alright, there's Celeste. Alright, Doggone Briskrelv. Wrath of God. So, next turn they can play Joda, but they can also just use the mutation. I'm possibly even just playing Wrath of God next turn. This sucks. Because this makes for the red. This has black on it. See, they got blue-green. This is literally anything. This is literally anything. So that if they play any land that taps for anything in Mardu, they can go ahead and start blowing things up. If it's an Atraxa, that lets them refill their hand, but they haven't ramped enough to really take full advantage of that just yet. Soul Partition. Okay, yep, that's within Mardu. Yep. Ancient Cornucopia. Whenever you cast a spell that's one or more colors, you gain a life for each one, and then it also taps for mana. Unfortunately, nothing I can really do about that. Blast Zone. It is a land. That gets us closer. Let's see. What do we have in terms of what? We have Dog Umbra. We have Swords. Scream. Skrell. I would like to see at least one more land so we can drop this Discover the Formula. Alright, so they do get to tutor. What are they going to grab? Like Paradox Engine? Maybe Time Walk? These are like 3. Let's go ahead and put like... Let's see, we can put 1. Equals 1. No, we can put 2. Alright. So we can actually pop the Celestis and the Cornucopia. Is that worth doing? Puts them back to 4 mana. And they don't get to use the mutation? I think it is. I will gladly take that. Because it means now they have to use all 5 of their mana to do whatever it is they want to do. Omniscience? Oh my god, it probably is Omniscience. Oh, that is so true, bestie. That is so true. They probably did just grab Omniscience, which means we dodged a major bullet there. Alright, so they're going to play Joda. Joda comes down. They're currently still missing their red. So let's go ahead and make them work for it. Like they have red, blue. They have blue, green. They're missing either another red or another white black source. Prairie comes into play tapped. Not ideal. Do we play Skrelv? Do we not play Skrelv? I'm still sandbagging this Wrath of God. We're slowly getting pecked down to death by this fish, but we don't care about the fish. Thought distortion! Well, guess I'm not gonna get to use this anyway. Boots is pretty cool. If I had like 1 more mana, I could boots up Hilda, and I'd be pretty pog about that. Thought Distortion is also a card, this is true. You know what? Fucking infects you. Okay, never mind. There's the Omniscience. There's the Binding of the Old Gods. Yep, you were right, chat. You were right. It was absolutely Omniscience. I don't know why I thought it would be anything else. The Thought Distortion fucking destroyed it. It fucking destroyed us. Like, that's why you play Thought Distortion, alright. Like, we made the right move to... Oh, now they just have the World Tree. Like, go ahead, show me what else you... whatever god-awful thing. Show me the Brilliant Ultimatum. Show me the Brilliant Ultimatum I know you have. Did any of these have... No. Oh, okay. It's Casualties of War. Yeah, we're just gonna pick it up now. There's no coming back from that. Unfortunately, I did not have a good time. Now, if I'd won, that might have been a different story. trying to think what we could have potentially have done differently. Like, if we just try and enchant Joda, then they still have removal. Like, they had the casualties to get rid of it. And, like, having the ley line as redundancy for Joda makes that really hard. This is going to be an awkward game. It's going to be really awkward because Kona wants to be tapped and put big things into play. Dog Umbra, Teferi, negate. Teferi doesn't do a whole lot. Ice Pillar, even though it is one of our things, just doesn't want to work. Take New Knowledge, Hilda. There's a Cold Steel Heart. The opponent goes first. I think I keep this and I try and seek New Knowledge. Springleaf Drum is a really strong enabler for them. I might even just want to put Crossroads on white so we can play Wrath. Unlicensed Hearse. We don't really care too much about the Hearse, except for the fact that it is another way to just tap Kona. Okay, so we definitely play the Aiganjo here. I would like to seek New Knowledge and then also negate. I think that's what we're going to do. That way we can shut off any sort of cultivate that they have. And they're just going to pass. Good for them. Alright, Ristic Study and Unable to Scream. If Unable to Scream had Flash, I would be all about that. Hilda's Crown doesn't do what we want. Dog Umbra doesn't do what we want. We're not ready for those yet. So... I guess I'd rather put back... Dog Umbra. Get Lost. That works. Kind of. We do want to put this on blue. I can't Cold Steel Heart and Get Lost. I would love to play Ristic Study so we can start drawing. But unfortunately, we're kind of at the mercy of just... yeah, and then they are just going to start hearsing, so that way we can't delve anything away. Like, there's no reason for them not to. Alright. They have every possible way to turn Kona into a thing. Alright. And, yep, they're going to go ahead, screw it with Kona. Now we can Ristic Study next turn at least. Because 4... They have to play another creature. This is 5. They can still play Kona. That's frustrating. Wash away! I wanted a peanut! I'm gonna put the Cold Steel on white because I have to. I can also Unable to Scream the Jaspera Sentinel, but I don't think that's good enough. I think I want to hold on to the Unable to Scream specifically for when they try and use Kona. The Wash Away here is just perfectly clutch because it gives us the turn we need to get Ristic Study online. Add quote, I wanted a peanut. You get it, chat. You get it. True intellectuals in chat today. True intellectuals. Alright, so we still have to discover the formula. The Ristic Study is going to be huge for us. We can't hold anything else up. So... They just played a land this turn, right? I think they did. Yeah, they did. So we have 2 more turns. 2 more turns. Trying and find an answer that will just keep Kona shut off for good. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Bless you, chat. Bless you. Opponent seems to be in deep thought with regards to our response of Wash Away. Now, keep in mind, they are 5-6 mana ahead. They have 2 map tokens and an unlicensed hearse. We're really far behind. We've missed multiple land drops by this point. I do believe we are in an old-fashioned roping. This is what we in the business call salt. It makes the stew we're brewing so much better. Oh god, I've been thinking about naming the brewing series just Add Salt. I think that would be pretty cool. Yes. Here's a Ristic Study. I would love to protect the Ristic Study, but I cannot. Not the nautical rope covered in salt. Oh god, yeah, those things get crusty. Also, I think the opponent has just thrown in the towel because they let Kona go to the graveyard. Unless they have a regrowth that I'm not thinking of, which, hey, you know what? They could do that. They could 100% go regrow Kona, play it again. In which case, I would feel very silly for not playing that, not holding up the negate. But I think the Ristic Study potentially drawing us into a Wrath effect is just super, super valuable. And, like, this person, like, they were going to put in, like, an Ulamog or a Tyrant Rex. Like, they were going to put in something big and scary with Kona. And they've had multiple chances to cast Kona. I am just a poor blue player trying to, like, trying to claim what's mine, trying to claim my land. But hey, you know what? Here's the joke. They're roping to punish us for quote unquote wasting their time. But we're playing blue-white. We are not here for a good time. We're here for a long time anyway. It's like, damn, I sure do have an hour to kill. I might be able to finish a game in that time. Boo! Why are you booing me? I'm right! Alright, GG's, Kona. GG's. Kona walking in being like, oh man, your deck gimmick is tapping cards? Oh boy, I can't wait to get in on that action. I'm not even usually a control player. Mostly when I'm playing control, I'm not. I'm playing aggro or combo.
Cold water.
Thank you so much for the sippies. Disdainful Stroke, eaten by piranhas. We're up against Brea. This is going to be an artifact-heavy deck that includes a lot of blink and reanimating. Pull to the Moon could be good. Disdainful Stroke could also help. But given that we only have some answers, not enough answers, thing to get lost. This is so much better. We can lead off on the Delta. And I don't think they have a reason to run Stifle. That's just the thing that you have to consider. Also, they let off on God the Shrine, so let's go ahead and grab our Surveil. Replicating Rain, how do I feel about that? It is not a land, but it is ramp. I feel like I want lands. Say, speaking of, yeah, we can go ahead, run out Iganjo, run out Signet. And then we do still have Chop down here as well. Charming Prince. That's an interesting one. So they're going full blink with Brea. Notably, we can use the Disdainful Stroke on Brea too. Brea tends to be a very slow deck to get up and running. So we definitely want to play the Heath here. We've got to get lost. No? Alright, yeah, they're gonna hit us. That's fine. This also makes all of our enchantments significantly worse. Am I playing anything next turn? I could potentially just cash this in for a Shockland if I really need to. Teferi, you say? If I play Teferi, I'm short 1 mana. This is not the time. Professor Oak whispering in my ears. This is not the time for that. Oh, this has flash. If they miss a they missed a land drop. In that case, let's go ahead and crack this now. They can tails end us if they have it. They do not. Let's grab Snowland. Life is gonna be bad for you here in a second. I still don't want to play Teferi without having some sort of backup. We're in a position now where we can just do that. Worst feeling in the world is missing your land drops when the control deck is just, you know, out here chilling out. I could get lost. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll get lost here. Get rid of the Charming Prince. See what they do. End step. Season of the Burrow. What are you on about, friend? Alright, well go ahead. Attempt the Teferi. There's no way this resolves, right? Mana drain? Well, excuse me. That could honestly just be the exact thing that they needed. Now, notably, they can't actually use it to cast Freya. They've got blue-black, blue-white. That's a Rakdos Signet. Yep, they can just start popping off now. Rhystic Study, you hate to see that. Oh, God, that was disgusting. I hate that for us. Let's see. They can sack 2 artifacts to neg 4, neg 4. Which means that they do just hit Hilda now. And a Goblin Engineer, so they just go ahead and put the, they're just gonna put the Simulacrum in the graveyard, which means that we do want to just drop the Significance on there, I think. No, they're going for Circuit Mender? What? I hate the opposing Rhystic Study. Really makes me want to have an Narset. Alright. So here's us. Yep, we are going to pay the 1 here. Pass the turn. And they have 5 mana. They can still cast the Brea. Cast the Brea pretty easily, in fact. Displacer Kitten. Okay. Here's the awkward part. Displacer Kitten can come down and blink out the Goblin Engineer if they cast anything. So I can't let them have the Displacer Kitten. They can still block with Goblin Engineer. Oh, there's Ragavan too now. 4/4, which means Giant Killer kills. We're in a rough spot right now. Having Narset is just like a good idea anyways. You're not wrong. They can... Now we're in a position where they can play Brea, have 2 mana open, sack to kill Hilda anyway. I think what I need to do is play this on blue, activate Anchorage, attack with the Anchorage, and then use the map on Hilda. You didn't get him! I needed you to get big! I needed you to grow healthy and strong! Alright. Now, they could sacrifice Brea in response and just negate the adventure. We don't want that. And we want to do this in response so that way she has... Yeah, Brea's just going to sacrifice 2 map tokens, get Ragavan going. I feel awful. Unfortunately... I just feel bad now. Like, I need to top deck into a Wrath to make this work. Ragavan gets to steal something off the top of my deck. They get Pacification Array, which is incredibly awkward. Because that's just another artifact that Brea can sacrifice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's Esper Sentinel. Alright. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't pay for Ristic Study. I just can't. So then what the hell are we doing with our lives? We are... just gonna go straight to attackies. And then scoop because I accidentally clicked past the rest of my turn. That sucks. Knowing that Brea can melt Hilda is what makes that hard. Especially without any sort of protection. The Ristic Study redraws them all the cards they need. Because a lot of what Brea needs in order to keep any sort of artifact protection going is straight up blink like the Displacer Kitten. And now we're up against Nicol Bolas, so this is like a mutually assured destruction type thing. We can keep this. We have the ring. You don't get completely destroyed by not having something. I'm really willing to go like turn 1 Selfless Savior. Probably not. We'll just pass the turn. If they thought sees us, then we're losing the mana drain for sure. Which means that we only have the Swan Song. We have the Swan Song, which could protect Hilda. I don't know what to tell you. This is just a really bad matchup. Like, we're playing a Ships and Pilots decks against a deck that's literally nothing but removal. Discard Interloper. Decline. They can go ahead. They just got any sort of control off of us. It might be a Wrath. It might be a counterspell. No one really knows at the end of the day. Like, this is horrible. They might have even gotten that Mind Stone off of us. I guess we'll never know. Esper Sentinel. Okay, so it's Seek New Knowledge. Well, there's just no point in playing Hilda early. Like, not even as a 3/4, because she's just so expensive to play late game. Might as well not have a commander in the early game. Put a card from your hand on the bottom. Deck's been shuffled. They could have a Languish. Collect the evidence. No, they don't. They can't have a Languish. That's double black. I mean, Psych Rift is cool. Let's see. We can counter that. And then bounce that. Like, is that awful? Kind of. Keeps the Sentinel around. Means that they still have to pay taxes. And there's one thing Bolas hates, is paying taxes. Okay, never mind. I mean, they can still bowl us next turn. They can 7 damage to the Sentinel. I don't know why they would do that when they could just like start taking cards off the top of our deck. Here's a Ristic Study. Do you have a negate? Alright, well, that's something. Let's see. Yeah, Bolas just starts drawing cards. Until the end of the turn, you can cast that without paying its mana cost. We also, like, just kind of lose the ability to protect whatever it is we play. Although getting the Giant Killer is... Yeah, like, they don't care about that. But hey, you know what? That answers Bolas at least. I prefer playing blue-black control so much more than playing blue-white control. Because it feels like even though white is the literally answers everything color, but black just has so much more flexibility with regards to being able to attack the hand, being able to kill more things. I mean, I got nothing to hide. They're just gonna, what? Play Bolas again? Eat whatever I draw into? Nope. It's gonna be Tybalt, and then Tybalt's going to exile Esper Sentinel. Exile target artifact or creature. I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. Like, this Tybalt's got a +2. It's awful. I don't know how to build control decks to actually be able to fight other control decks, unfortunately. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I can do it if it's blue-black. I can do it if it's blue and black, but if it's blue and white, I suddenly lose all of my my control knowledge. Like, Narset is really good. The Ristic Study and the Sentinel taxing effects are good. Like, Narset is just a fantastic card to play. And we don't have the Awakened one. Like, Narset just shutting down a lot of extra draw is really good for blue-white. Because if you can draw cards while they're not drawing cards, then hey, guess what? You're the one drawing cards. I think the Discover the Formula was still fine. We still have the Reverse Rebuke and the Wrath. You know, I don't think we want to cut yet more removal for Narset. This is unfortunately also just the other part of this, is that because we are play Shacklegeist, Pillar, Array, Topple. Websy's a good one. Get Lost. Hour. Oh, we had like, where'd the other one go? That's like, what? That's 6? Oh, we had a little bit more than that. Even by Piranhas, Get Lost, Dog Umbra. The more cards we end up cutting out from this, the worse Hilda gets. Like, I would just cut a Dream Shackle just to slot in Narset. But then we still have, like, we're minimizing exactly how many of these effects we need. It might even be worth potentially putting in a recommission just so we can get these back, because now, how does Hilda work if we don't tap things down? If we're literally just playing blue-white and we don't have anything to actually tap things down, just, what do you do? What are you supposed to do? I mean, I guess Teferi taps things down. Like Teferi's at least one of the better ones because Teferi is good on his own. What do we even have like for the rest? I can potentially tap stuff down. Wandering Emperor. Yanling doesn't do that. Yora untaps. What if you turn stuff that shouldn't be a creature into a creature? Off the top of my head, I'm thinking about things like Karn, who can animate artifacts and then also turn the opponent's artifacts off. That's probably not bad. It shuts down a lot of artifact mana too. Let's see. Does not top down. There's just not many ways to do that. That's true. There really aren't a lot of good ways to tap creatures. Like, okay, there's a Dovin here. But this is like starter deck Dovin. Would I really be playing Dovin just to like activate a Hilda for a turn? What's the backside of this Teferi do? Nico, Karn, Spark Rupture. The enchantment that like turns them into creatures, yeah. Enters, draw a card. Each playing walker with one or more loyalty loses the ability. That's really niche, unfortunately. Like, it's an enchantment that does end up drawing you the card back. And it shuts off the planeswalkers. I don't know. I feel like... I think it's just not Hilda's time yet. I think that's what it comes down to. I think Hilda is a deck that needs very specific types of support. And we're just lacking good ways to actually utilize that support. It's niche, but if it has any home, it's got to be this deck. I don't think so. I think playing Spark Rupture... I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like, there's a decent amount of planeswalkers, but you're also just as likely to never see planeswalkers. It cantrips, you can potentially loot it away, but then you need more cards that actually do stuff like that as opposed to it just being a 3-mana cantrip. Which is pretty bad on its own. Right now, I think what's really just going to happen is Hilda's going to see a home in Derevi. I think having her in a spot where you can combine it with Derevi makes it just easier to do stuff. It's also probably just the fact that I could be doing so much more stuff that's like also win conditioning. Like we could be playing Sun's Champion in Hilda. Which, hey, you know what? Maybe Hilda can't be like good on her own, but maybe there's a maybe she'll work out here. Hold on, did I ever get like Kona in? I was so excited for Derevi when Derevi got revealed to be in the Animal Companion sheet. Unfortunately, we're still missing a lot of the cards that make Derevi like really good. Give her runes, Elspeth, Rip. And it's gonna be Freyalise Ramp. There's a Scrap Gorger. There's a Scab Wrangler. Maybe. Helen joins up. Exile non-land card, mana value 3 or less from your hand to make it plotted. Forest, Kami. Freyalise come down next turn, potentially. Arctic Tree Line. Would have liked to have seen you. But ramping ahead to the Scrap Quarter so we don't lose tempo is good. Fraley's is like, it's Elf Ball, but Fraley's is just so much worse than anything else you could potentially play as an elf commander. Priest of Titania. Scab Wrangler during the upkeep would work there. Otherwise, they do just get to run it out of control. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. How do we want to do this? We can also run to Fairy. You could put up to Fairy. I think that's what we want. But we can also instant speed Derevi. Now the let's see, tap target permanent. Yes. There we go. And now we can Scab Wrangler next turn to keep that under control. They do have to use Fraley's to actually untap the Priest of Titania. But then they're not getting like a ton of mana off Priest of Titania. Nope, never mind. It's Vivian. Cast creatures as though they have haste.
Tear it down.
And Kami has vigilance. Alright, well, we can play to Fairy. This is only when creatures deal combat damage to a player. That is not ideal. Also, don't underestimate the Regal Force that Fraley's can drop in. I think Seeking Elves is also really important here. Brainstorm into Hedge Maze after we do Teferi. I can tap the Kami. No artifacts. Tap the Kami. Untap the island, I guess. I can hit. Have two. This is just bad. This is really. This is just like not good. This is not good. I don't like this. Here's a Scab Wrangler, I guess. Here's a Hedge Maze. I feel awful. They're gonna go ahead and pop off now. You can be a great bird. I'm sorry, I failed you. Whenever an opponent casts an instant sorcery, you can pay 2 to copy it. Oh, we pay 2. Okay. Exile 1 face down, put the rest on the bottom. For as long as that card remains exiled, you can cast it. Well, they're not going critical mass with Priest of Titania yet, but we do need to deal with the Fraley's. Am I willing to no, I want to hold on to the Scab Wrangler. This is just whenever we cast an instant sorcery, right? Oh, hey, Nadu! Suddenly everything is coming up roses. We can also play Kellen. What do we have here? We have 5. We don't have enough. Shame. Here's Nadu. And what we can do now is I want to hold on to Scab Wrangler, right? Kind of. Derevi definitely wants to hit. I want to use Teferi. This is tap 3, untap. No, I think I just want to. And then we can also 3-line plus no artifacts, target, and then target. Let's just start going off with Nadu. Okay. And then we also get Kellen joins up. Actually, If we brainstorm, they pay 2, they get to copy it. Do we care about that? I don't think we do. Now they get a brainstorm. We have the Windswept Heath, so our brainstorm is just a little bit more valuable. Although they can use Vivian to, like, make that not the case. Knight Errant. That's reasonable. I don't think the Gold Forge Thropter is quite what I want. I want Kellen. Knight Errant Eos can also... And then... Let's go ahead and grab a basic because we are woefully vulnerable right now. Go combat. Attack. Daka. They could flash something in. I would be... Oh, they could just flash in a bird. No, hold on. Tap that. Eat the Windswept Heath, sure. Now we get to untap Nadu. Heroic Intervention, untap permanent. I don't know what you want from me. They're just gonna Freylease on the next turn. Freylease, Regal Force, draw a bunch of cards. Just was not, it just wasn't gonna work out. Like, Nadu and Derevi have the makings of a good combo here. But until we, like, find a way to get multiple stuff on the board, I guess with Derevi you typically used to play a lot of really small evasive cards. So maybe that's what I need to go back to. Maybe I've gone too hard on trying to play stuff that benefits from being tappy-tapped. In that specific scenario, if we had more of the... Ooh, how slow is this? The opponent goes first. All of our lands come into play tapped. This could be a lot better. Burning Catacombs always grabs the forest that we need. He's a legendary creature. They're playing green. Winter Moon slows us down a little bit, not as much as you would think. Belligerents can grab planes. Or island. Yeah, like, maybe it's just a mistake to play cards like Stalwart for Derevi. I'm just gonna have to do a little bit more research there. And to the north. This taps an untapped artifact. None of these are, like, gonna cooperate. Go ahead, grab the Hallowed Fountain. We can play the Solar Transform. We can also, like, play Amara. We can, and then Convoke. That would actually turn on the Stalwart. Okay, what do we want? Overwhelm is fine. March of the Multitudes goes big, goes wide as opposed to tall. It is with 2 uncounters for each creature that convoked it. It might be March. Go March. And then next turn we have 3. We can go Arcane Signet into the north. Yep, there's Tireless Provisioner. And we still don't have any sort of interaction to stop that. Finding a way to go ahead, refill on lands. They hit Labyrinth of Scophos and Fable Passage. Pretty pog for them. It means that all 3 of these are dropping, which we're out of time to do any sort of, like, competent ramping. Here's Signet. I'm gonna into the first, so that way our surveil has like has just more value. Grab our blue-green. The one ring, that's what we want. Oh, we can actually play Minas Tirith as an untapped land too. That's pretty great, now that we have Amara. Because, God forbid, we're about to get our ass blasted by Azusa here. Maybe I do want to make you just really small tempo stuff. Oracle. There's Urza Cave. We haven't seen the payoff just yet, but like they're going crazy. Yep, we'll take the 4 there. That's fine. Drawing the one ring. Am I worried about a hoof? I could be. I could be very worried about hoof. Got 5, 6, 7 mana available, so we can play the one ring and also Boromir. I probably want to play Solar Transformer instead. Just so that way we don't get hoofed this turn. And then we can use the one ring with the Revi, which is pretty great. So we don't have to worry about actually taking damage this turn, but we do get to see exactly Kozilek's command. Tokens, target player scries X, then draws a card, exile the target creature from graveyard, exile target creature mana value X or less. Yep, that's a good card that green can run now. But what if they also play Questing Beast? Well, if they play Questing Beast, well, never mind. They just have Emrakul. Gain control of all creatures target player controls. They can even just like, yep. Okay, so that's just a 12/12 flying pro spells. What is this? Target player, actually? So, like, the one ring is going to protect us from that? For, like, a turn? I would love to see them cast it now and forget that the trigger targets. They got to target themselves if they cast it this turn. This is true. I'm hoping that's what they decide to do. I am praying that my opponent does not read their cards. I am praying, I am crying, pissing, shitting, bleeding on the floor. Please, no. Yamairo. I think the opponent has realized that we are not long for this world, so they don't have to do anything. It's unfortunate. Let's see. This can convoke, instant speed, make all the soldiers. Okay. Well, bully. Warden and Druid, it's not worth playing any of those. They can also just like start beating in. Okay. Like, they're not going to even do anything. They're just going to hold Emrakul up until we have Derevi out. And then they'll commit crime against nature, against humanity. They're going to be like the Canadians and be the reason why we have approximately 2/3 of the Geneva Convention. Play lands from the graveyard. Yep, sure. They can also play the Courser. This is protection from spells, protection from permanents that were casted this turn. Yep, they can just continue drawing. We have no feasible answer against this. How do they keep getting Archdruid Charm on top? This has exile target artifact or enchantment. Our ring does nothing. I'm just gonna save myself the embarrassment. Just let them have it. Like, damn. Okay, sure. Yeah, you didn't have to embarrass me that hard. I know you can be good, bird. I know you can be good. But like, it just didn't work out that way. The Derevi deck that I have in paper gets to play stuff like Palliation Accord with the shield counters with the glare. No, you put that Nadu back in there. The Nadu, the Derevi deck's gonna messing around. What if I just play Storm? What if I just be like, I'm done. I'm done. I just want to play cards. Awful. Literally awful. Ugh. And like there's cool stuff because like the Verity Circle actually has a lot more use than something like a Derevi. You didn't realize Emrakul was pro permanents that were cast this turn? That was permanents that entered the battlefield, so you can always block with Derevi. Yeah, you can. You just activate Derevi, you put Derevi into play, you tap him down. It's pretty great. Signet, Bergie, Striker, Rich, and Opt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what I'm about. Meanwhile, you're playing Phylath. You're playing a red-green deck. Meanwhile, I, who are smart, gets to play Rao. Probably hold on to the Striker Rich so that we can just play with the Bergie, though. Striker Rich into Bergie. Now, let's just go ahead and hold on. I don't think we have to go too. Definitely want to crack that polluted delta immediately. Are we playing a Signet? Nah, probably just playing the Bergie. Alright, so they do get the Nantucket out. They're going to try and rush us down. That's the case I don't want to grab a Shock. I want to grab Island. We'll just play Ral. They haven't shown us red just yet, but they might have it. They might bolt Ral. If that's what happens, well then so be it. We'll just drop Bergie on the next turn. Drop Bergie on the next turn. Start trying to go off. Trying to go crazy. Trying to fail to flip 10 times in a row. I'm okay with, you know, losing the flip. Alright, unexpected windfall. Let's go ahead. We'll just play Bergie. Like, we are all set up now. We've got everything going for us. You can strike it rich, make some treasure. They're going to Roaring Earth. Can we pop off? Will it blend, chat? Will it blend? Probably want to crack this Prismatic Vista. Make more blue. Like, this is not insignificant. And if they want to swing, I'm not going to block. Thundering Falls is, Alright, let's start popping off. Arcane Signet is pretty cool. Here's Strike It Rich. Yep, we're gonna take the 1 there. That's fine. We can even like 2 there. Let's go ahead and just drop Thundering Falls. You know what? That's fine. We'll just. Oh, hey, a bolt. Bolt's pretty cool. Do we want to kind of maybe soda? Like this is mana neutral, right? Yeah, that's kind of mana neutral. And then next turn we can actually turn that red into an Arcane Signet. Grape Shot deals for 4. Is that what I'm looking for this turn? Grape Shot for 4 hits the Mystic Elf and the Nuntaku. I don't think so. I think we're looking for gas before we look for Grape Shot. Excessive Iteration. That was what, 4, 5, 6, not enough. Crackling Wet, Breakthrough. Put one into my hand. Guess I'll take the Flesh Strand into hand. Put that into library. Exile the Sudden Breakthrough. Alright, so that's like 6. Should power up the Burgie. That's 7. How much do you need? You need 8? Alright, so if I've got the line correct, then we're cool. To like pop off with Ral. But no, the opponent's not going to let us have it. So like, what the alt is exile the top 8. You cast any instant sorcery from among them this turn without paying their mana cost. I guess if that's going to be the case, then the Grape Shot would have been actually pretty cool. But I just wanted to dig for like land, maybe try and find the Mr. Dwarf. Now this is the Storm deck that I got from Covert Go Blues channel. It was a good reminder of why I try and familiarize myself with decks before I start streaming with them, unless I'm very deliberately brewing. I can't even go back and look at some of my older ones. Sapphire Collector, Pirates Pillage, and Anticipate. Honestly, we might be able to hold on to this. This seems fine. Use the Wooded Foothills, grab Surveil Land. It's like it's Pock. It's Pock. What are they going to do to us? Fight us? Armored Scrap Gorger. That's kind of rude. I wouldn't mind Time Warp down top. Grab a blue so we don't get completely shut out. Then we've also got Seek New Knowledge,
Just a rain
Anticipate.
mage, nothing to see here.
What's the collector is whenever you cast your second non-creature spell in a turn. Rushing Prentice draws 2, discard a card at random. We've also got Time Warp potentially. Second non-creature. Now remember, the Mox Amber only taps for red right this second. I'm not transform him. Solve the equation, pull resources. The Sun Breakthrough, I think, doesn't quite get us there. I guess we go ahead, we play that as a land. I would like to play Collected Sapphire. I'd like to play Pirates Pillage. Not ready to go in yet. Sorcery. Take their time is going to be very, very hard for us to actually get full discount on. Ashaya? Sure, yeah. We are just going to, like, get fucking domed in by Pock, so... Yeah, no blocks. And then the Scrap Gorger is also going to try and, like, prevent us from flashing back a Time Warp. Like, that's what they have to keep the Scrap Gorger up for. Alright, so we got Lightning Bolt, which is great. We have Commandeer, which is also great. We will just fucking die next turn, so... For a Moon God. I think this is the turn for that. Can play Collector. What does that do for us? Not a lot. Not enough. I have honestly just fizzled. Go ahead and drop the Collector. Alright, Storm count 1, draw 2, make 2 treasures. Take 2 non-lands. The one marine is pretty cool, but we can't actually play it. We can brain surge. Try and find some way to pop off. I don't think we can. Underworld Breach. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escaped. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus the exiled cards. So we can't play Underworld Breach. Prismari Command, Vadric, no. Alright, we fizzled. We had 4 turns to do it, but like, probably should have been more aggressive with finding enablers. Sag, yeah, I wanted to make Boom Boom Sparkies. Like, we even had the bolt for the Scrap Gorger. Emoti's going to be another deck where they don't really have a lot in terms of like counter magic. Cephalid Coliseum, Anticipate, Impulse. Have Pinnacle Monk. We have ways to dig. Plus we have Vadric, Seize the Spoils. We can keep this. Probably lead up on Pinnacle then. We don't have to take the extra 3. Definitely drop Vadric like ASAP. That means we have 3 turns of setup. Then we can try impulsing. We can seize the spoils. Spoils will be mana positive. They're playing blue-green, so we don't have to worry about Winter Orb. We're really more concerned about them ramping out of control and playing good old-fashioned Bonnie Paul.
My genius is rotting in this dump.
Definitely. Yep, there's the Guardian Idol. Alright, we take 1 off the Vadric. All of our spells cost 2 less now, which is great. We don't even need to play the Signet. We're probably dropping that to Faithless Looting. Or even just Seize the Spoils. I'd rather Seize the Spoils first, I guess. Yep, there's a Signet. It might have like a bounce spell. Bouncing Vadric actually sets us back a little bit in terms of tempo. Like they could have the Adventure, but they went for double Forest, so probably not. There's Goldspan Dragon. Goldspan Dragon is kind of cool. Let's seize the spoils now. We can drop. Honestly, I'm gonna drop the. Or hold on, the dragon is actually like a strong enabler here. We get 2 treasures, right? We get 2 treasures, and then we get a land drop that could potentially turn into a dragon. Yeah, okay, I've convinced myself here. We'll play the dragon. Dragon doubles up on treasures. There's no additional land, but we do have the Galvanic Iteration now. We can anticipate, grab. It's gonna be 2. Okay, 2. Anticipate. Nope, not yet. There's another land. There's Ren's Resolve. I kind of like Windfall better if we had more. Grab Ren's Resolve so we can keep playing. Nope, not yet. That's until the end of my next turn, so we do get to proliferate. We get to flick a coin next turn. Okay, that's how many? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. He comes into play with 6, 7, 8. Can pop off on the next turn potentially. You know what? I'll take that.
If you're not scared of lightning, you bow to me.
Draws a card if we have extra stuff. We've also got the Ichor Moon Gauntlet, I guess.
Slinging spells is so easy.
And they don't want to use their idol to attack into Ral. We fizzled for a turn. That's not good. We can pop Ral. Pop Ral, cast a lot. We still have Vadric. Galvanic Iteration when you cast your next instant sorcery. Alright, there's a Modi. She hits a Dryad? Alright, there's Commandeer. So this is... You may cast instant sorcery from one of them this turn without paying their mana cost.
Adapted before. Do it again. Let's break.
Solve the equation and treasure cruise. This is not ideal. We're trying here. Not ideal. We do have Goblin Electromancer, flick the coin. Prismari command, shoot, draw. Do damage to any target. Create treasure. Here, solve the equation. We're gonna grab. Oh, I don't know. Probably. Let's just grab Physics Mastery. And then what else do we have? We still have Anticipate for treasure. We still have literally nothing else past the turn. We have to discard 4 cards. Drop the Springleaf Drum, drop the Dragon, drop Ichor Moon Gauntlet. Actually, hold on. The gain control target non-creature spell. Actually pretty pog about that. Currently have 3. There's Pact Negation. Probably don't want Pact Negation. And flick the coin. We lost flick the coin. Alright, Beanstalk. We don't care about that, right? We got a ton of stuff in the graveyard. We got Mastery at 8. Currently 7. We're at 5. Well, there's a Grave Shot. Alright, so what do I do then? Physics Mastery, copy. Hell if I know. I guess we want to play the Electromancer. Drop the Brainstorm, drop. Not Commandeer. None of this is Pog. None of this is Pog at all. About the Grape Shot. There's that. Crack that. Grab a shock. Alright, here's an Electromancer. Now we can Faithless Looting again. We've got 3 mana. Set up for the Mastery on the next turn, I guess. There's a Dig Through time. Berkey is also really cool, but we can't play Berkey. Pass the turn. Probably because Commandeer doesn't actually have another blue card for us to exile as part of the cost in case they try and Rivers Rebuke us. Like, we have Mastery, we have a lot of stuff set up. Yep, there's a Modi. Modi resolves. Grabs an evasion. I'm just not doing a fantastic job. Try to keep all this going. We will anticipate, I think, at the end of turn. Currently we have 5, 6, 7. Ransacked. Solved. What the pillage, I think. Alright, so here's a Flux Channeler. Okay, what the fuck are we doing? Are we actually just gonna start mastering? I think we have to. And then we try to turn that into a gut shot. Oh, damn. Unsubstantiate. Return target spell or creature to its owner's hand. Now that's tech. Yep, they get to go ahead and they get to do their cascade nonsense now. Yeah, that's tech. That's not something I would have actually thought to put into this. Alright, tap up to 2 target permanents, put a stun counter on each of them, so they get to tap down our lands. The Fierce Empath, which grabs a tutor, so we're just gonna scoop it up because I want to go pee. Alright. We'll try some more next week. And then on Friday we'll be back with some more Elden Ring. So we'll catch y'all folks later.